Welcome to Take Charge with Dr. Chichi, where nurses take control, break barriers, and build a future of financial freedom and career success. Whether you're burned out, ready to level up, or looking for the blueprint to thrive, you're in the right place. It's time to lead, grow, and win because your future starts now. Here's your host, Dr. Chichi.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Take Charge with Dr. Chichi, the show where we empower you to rise from burnout to breakthrough and take charge of your life in your own terms. I'm your host, Dr. Chichi. I'm excited you're joining us today. Before we dive in, if you're watching this right now, please take a moment to subscribe, like, and share because you never know whose life this episode might touch and transform. The theme for today's episode is Burnout to Breakthrough, the courage to start again. So today I'm honored to have Mr. Fidelis Obuzor, a registered nurse, financial strategist, a family man, and entrepreneur who empowers people of faith, immigrants, and healthcare professionals. His journey through burnout and into purpose will bless many people today. So I have the honor to welcome Mr. Fidelis to the show. Mr. Fidelis, can you say hi to everyone?
Definitely. Hello and good morning. How are you? And how's everybody doing?
Awesome, awesome. Welcome to the show. Welcome to Take Chat with Dr. Chichi.
Thank you. Thank you. I am honored and glad to be here. Thank you.
That's good. Let's just jump into it right away. All right. So,
Awesome.
Mr. Fidelis, what inspired your journey into nursing and life of service?
Well, that's a great question, and I'm glad we're starting out with that question today because you see, I wasn't born here. I was born in West Africa in Nigeria, and then when I
Wow.
was young, just to recall that I was 12 years old, and my dad fell sick, very ill,
Oh,
and we
oh.
happened to go to the hospital.
Mm.
Spend some time with him. I remember those days. My mom would take me from home to the hospital to visit with my dad. That kind of lasted about a year or so. Eventually, my dad passed away when I was
Oh, so
13.
sorry to hear that.
Thank you. And but just my interaction with the healthcare workers, the nurses, the doctors, seeing how everything was done day to day, kind of
Mm,
planted a seed in my mind as a teenager or, beginning my
mhm.
teenage years. Since then, I was curious and I wanted to kind of come into this space so I could be able to do the same for other families and help other people because when you don't know the power of health until you're not healthy or you're sick in the
Yes,
hospital,
you're
and
right.
then you experience that part of life, and then things begin to happen. So that's actually my will I say the point where I was inspired to go into the healthcare system, and of course, several occurrences happened over time that kind of aligned my steps into it. Yeah.
Whenever I talk to most healthcare professionals, especially nurses, and then I ask them, have you ever experienced burnout? Most of their reaction is like, of course, So I know I had a discussion with you, and you said you've experienced burnout too. So what led to your burnouts, and when did you realize things needed to change?
Wow, and like what you said, honestly, and I'm gonna like kind of piggyback on what you just said. Like you talk to nurses and we ask them about
Hmm.
burnout. They're like, really?
Hmm.
Is that really a question you're trying to ask me?
Like who,
Let
who
me kind
hasn't
of
experienced burnout?
who has experienced burnout, right? So let's look at it like this.
Yes.
Statistics show that, 60 right now in 2025, about 67% of nurses are experiencing burnout. That's an increase from 2020, which is about 62%. What does that let's put the number down. Let's make it simpler because people say statistics. What are you talking about?
Hmm.
It means
Yeah.
almost 2 out of 3 nurses you talk to is experiencing burnout right now.
Mm.
And that's crazy. And I'll share my story a little bit about that. So during COVID, I was doing travel nursing, So I
Mm,
had the privilege to work in different parts of the country. I was excited to go help because that's my passion, right? And
mm,
then when I was out there, I remember particularly, when Texas, picked up in the COVID numbers, a lot was happening. The emergency relief company that I was working with or contracted with, they would contract with the government. So they sent us down to Texas. We got to the hospital. True story.
mm,
First day in the hospital, first day, literally first day in the hospital. No orientation, nothing. I'm an ICU
mm.
nurse. They push you straight into the ICU. Before we were wondering what was going on, one of the managers shows up and said, "Let me tell you guys, before you freak out, this is what's happening." Almost half of my staff in the ICU passed away with COVID.
Oh man, did you
And
guys
then
have? Mm-hmm.
that's crazy. And I don't, and then the remaining 50%, half of that 50% says, you know what? My friends and colleagues that passed away from COVID, I'm traumatized. I'm not coming back.
Mm.
So you literally have 25% or less of the staff present. Now, and I mean, you've been a nurse
I
for
mean,
a
you had to
while.
do the same job, even if it
Right.
was just 20. Yeah,
Yes, yes. And then we're there. And then it's not like the patient admission went down. You know, we
the
were
same workload.
literally, it went up all the way, like there's a lot of sick people coming in, just
Wow.
lots of sick people, because that's like one of the worst areas in Texas that had that situation of COVID. And here we are. I remember that night and pushing the car, no, well, we don't call it that. Wow. The
Yeah, wow.
machine,
Yeah, yeah. Computer
the
of wealth.
computer. Yeah. So computer was standing there, and then I was just overwhelmed
Oh my goodness.
because I'm thinking, and now this is going to make sense. And a lot of nurses are going to understand this. You're in a new environment, a new hospital, a new city, and then now I'm in a new unit that literally they're saying that's the med room over there. This is our charting system. This is what you do on the fly. You have to figure everything out. And then you have to also go take care of not just a regular patient that's sitting down waiting for you to come. Literally, patients that we're coding. One night we coded probably 8 people. We're going from one
Oh
room to
my
the next, to the
goodness.
next, to the next, to the next. That's kind of condition that we got in. So that night I was like overwhelmed. And this is what one of the things I'm going to say. Sometimes you're experiencing burnout as a nurse and you don't even realize what's happening.
I'm telling you, it's so subtle sometimes
It
till it
is.
breaks you.
Yes. And that was what was happening to me at that moment. I didn't really like in that moment, I didn't really like remind myself or understand that that's what's happening. I just
Mm.
kind of like, oh my God, I don't know what's going on with me right now, but we're going to try to, as we say, pull through the shift.
Like somebody has to do this.
Yeah, somebody has to do this, and they even tell you then, and which is kind of it's not the best information to share, but they tell you then if all you're doing is babysitting this patient, we're okay because we have a body, somebody named the nurse with a badge, with a license, sitting in the unit. If you don't do nothing, we understand, and this is why I said that I worked 40 nights straight with no day off.
Wow.
Like literally 40 nights. So what does that tell you? I mean, as a nurse, you know what it is. Well, I'm not talking about 40 nights of
And
five
you
hour,
probably
six
didn't
hour
sleep
shift.
well when you got back to where you had to sleep.
Not at all. So we're talking about 13, 14 hours of
Oh
shift
my goodness.
every night. So and then we have to also transport to where we stay. We're staying in the hotel. And literally sometimes you get to the hotel, you don't get much sleep, and they're waking everybody up. We have to go back. So at that
Wow.
moment, I spent a couple of, burnout. When we're talking about burnout, we're looking at, a combination of things. A combination of physical, mental, and of course, you could say emotional stress or exhaustion. All of them happen at the same time. I
Oh
can.
my
I can
goodness.
confidently say I kind of went through all of that because physically I was tired. I was,
Mm.
that word they say running on fumes. That's practically what was happening at that point,
Oh my God.
because after so many nights, I can pay you $1,000 just to sleep,
Just to have peace.
just to put my head on the pillow and just one day, nobody bothering me, just lock myself in the room just to sleep. That's how much I needed
I
sleep.
mean, if it's just sleep, it's different, but the
Mhm.
trauma too of
Mm.
seeing patients, like the workload and seeing patients going down, and you can do so much.
I'm
I
telling you,
mean,
I mean,
that's the trauma itself.
and when we talk about the trauma, and I'm glad you mentioned that, sometimes people don't understand. So as nurses, we don't only just provide care, we actually
Mm,
carry the burden and the pain of patients. So what the patients are going through, we're actually
yeah,
experiencing it. You remember
yeah.
when I told you, like, this is the reason why I went into nursing, because I really care. And a lot of nurses have that same passion. They do care. And you know what happens when you care? You carry the burdens of your patient. You advocate for
Mm,
your patient. You try to provide the best care for your patient. And then sometimes, if your patient is not improving, it takes a toll on you.
yes,
You know,
that's true.
and then now let me talk about the interface. During COVID, normally family members are allowed to come in and spend time with their family members, but during COVID, they're not allowed to come into the hospital. You know all the
So it's
regulations that
just
came in
you.
at that time. Now you're not just the nurse, the provider, the caregiver, or whatnot. You're also the family. Because I remember sometimes I'm on the phone, like you have to communicate with the family. They're concerned. It's legitimate concern. They can't
Mm,
see their dad, mom, uncle, sister, auntie, daughter, son, like just name it. They can't see them physically. So now, even some of the hospitals don't want to allow cameras in there. So sometimes you have to, if you have you're working, I worked in several different hospitals. If any hospital even allow cameras, sometimes you use your phone, get them on video call just to see their family member. And another thing is
oh
that
my
sometimes when
God.
you're speaking to them with a hospital phone, some of them are very emotional. They're crying, and I mean, we became
Oh,
everything. You can feel the pain there, and you can also see the pain in their family members. Going through, treatment, and a lot of things that were not understood during that time. Man, when I tell you, burnout is
I
real.
mean, I can't even imagine it. You know why I say I can't imagine it? If I say I can't imagine it, that means I'm underestimating your experience. Because I mean, who wants to go through that? I mean, when
Nobody.
you're describing this, I'm just having a graphic picture exactly what you guys were going through, while you were doing this during COVID. Because I know I
Yes.
had, because then too, and I teach, I'm in informatics. So then
Mhm,
I know a lot of nurses that quit, and they were bringing in a lot of nurses for
mhm,
training. So we were
mhm,
so overwhelmed too,
mhm,
doing all that. But I can't even imagine you being with the patient, directly with the patient,
mhm.
at that time. So
No,
when
it
did you
was.
realize things needed to change?
Oh man, I did that for about 2 years. Crazy,
Mm,
isn't it?
really? Well,
From New York
sometimes
to
you just feel like
Mhm.
you need to go out there and help people.
Yes,
Mm,
yes, and it was high intense. So from New York to Texas and just all over doing that. But I think one of the times I came back from one of those travels. And I suddenly really realized that God, something need to change here because, um, just to describe the stress that I went through when I was traveling, everything that's happening, the burnout, and then coming back to my family, and then I realized, okay, I'm gonna just be transparent with you guys because sometimes people need to hear these kind of things. One of
hmm
those times when I came back, I spent almost a whole week in the room just doing nothing. That's how tired and burnt out I was.
mm.
Literally sat in the bed. Some people might say it's depression. I don't really see it as that because I wasn't like, in sad or don't want to relate. It's just I was so tired. I just want to lay down, sleep, wake up, eat, go back and do the same thing.
You needed
And
that
after
peace.
yes, and after a week, I was able to gain some strength. And but
Mm,
what does that mean? I left the family behind when I traveled. So that's one week
mm.
when I came back that I could have connected with my kids, connected with my family, had some great time. That I was just sitting in the room. So
And,
at
and
that,
and and you're not scared. You probably were scared. What I wanted to say is you probably were even scared that you probably brought something home.
of
And
course,
given that distance was kind of your was a way for you to make sure you didn't bring something home to give them.
every time I come back, I have to go test.
Yes.
Oh, before I reunite and be with everybody, that has to happen, because you don't want to bring nothing back,
Mm.
to your family, especially, I had a really young family then. So it's like, I was very, cautious of that. So, but at that moment, I knew that something has to change because I'm someone that, I like to be present with my family. I like to be present with my kids. I love the fact that I get to do stuff with them and present in their life. Um, Going away to one of the reasons why I did the travel nursing was the fact that if I'm working locally, I don't know what is going to transpire between you and patients every day, and you can come back home with that. So I decided to go
Yes.
travel rather than being every time. But after like 2 years of it, I'm like, no, something have to change here because it's time for me to because this is the crazy thing. You wake up one day, and you see you see your son. I have twins. You see your sons that are so small. Suddenly they're grown. It's like, where was I? Like, what's going on? Like, I don't even know what's going on in their life. So,
Mm,
so I had to like, no, I need to do something that will allow me to be present in the life of my family, and especially my
wow.
children, be part of what's going on in their lives. So that's when that switch began to happen in my mind, and I knew that quickly I had to do something.
So, well, just talking about this, you already told us how it affected your personal life, how burnout affected your personal life, career, and faith. Um, I guess you didn't talk about faith.
Well, talk about fate. That's fine.
So did it affect your faith, kind of?
Of course it did.
Oh my
Because see, when I
goodness.
was traveling, and like I talked about working 40 nights with no day
Mm-hmm.
off.
Mm.
Honestly, I didn't go to church during that time. And there are
Because
people of
you'll be
different.
tired to even pray too.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So personally, my personal devotion was actually affected. And you have to understand that, and this cuts across the board. It doesn't
Mm-hmm.
matter what you practice, but knowing that at that moment I'm not as connected as I would love to be,
Mm-hmm.
and I tell people this all the time. Even when I was working locally, I worked the weekend shifts and a lot of those shifts, and sometimes I go to church after Saturday night and Sunday morning, and 70% of what was preached I don't receive because I'm there half asleep. you know at some point I convinced myself, like, at least you're going, that's good, but at the same time, you know
Maybe
uh,
maybe by going, you probably had a little bit of
yes, of
information that
something.
can help you.
Yes. So that's what I convinced myself. But I don't preach that. I don't advise anybody to do that. You need to be
Mm-hmm.
well rested, go and receive, because, receive the word of God, receive, and fellowship, with right now. And the same thing I was speaking about, being at home, but not being engaged because I was so
Being
tired
present.
and exhausted. The same way you are at church, you're not engaged because you're so tired and exhausted. It affects the faith, everything. And when it trickle down to your faith, it trickle down to your emotions, it trickle down to your physical. I mean, even
Everything.
physically affected me, because one of the things I realized is that my vitamin D was low, and you know
Oh
why?
man.
Because I wasn't getting sun. It
You're
was
always
night
indoors.
shift. Yes, night shift in the morning. When we get home, I'm trying to eat and go to sleep. And then you wake up again, you back there, and we almost a couple of years. So that's why sometimes I tell people simple things that, like, just go out there, take a walk, get some sun. It helps. So my health was not even the greatest at that point. These are all the pointers that I have to look at
Mm,
and go, you know what? Something has to happen here because I'm not moving in the right direction,
yes,
you know? And that's what kind of led me to, like, now it's time for a change in my life.
that's good. So, will you say that was the defining moment that pushed you to start your own business? Because I know you're an entrepreneur and a financial strategist, right?
Definitely, definitely. Yes, that was definitely a defining moment for me. Some people will say, I sat down with myself, or I thought about the process, or think about your thinking, whatever you want to put it.
Uh-huh.
I had to take a moment and just sit down and, like, evaluate. When I looked at all these things, and I'm like, okay, well, we're not going in the right direction. And sometimes
Hmm.
I encourage people to sit down and think about their thinking. You know what I mean?
Think about their thinking. I like
you
that.
know think about what's going on in your life, because it's nobody's coming to rescue you, by the way. So you have to evaluate. So for me, when I sat down, I started thinking about different pointers of my life, and maybe very shortly I'll talk about one of the key things I talk about. Like, I take it, you say, an assessment of 5 areas of my life: my faith,
Mm.
family, finance, fitness, fun. And I looked at those 5 areas, and I was like, doing that evaluation, like, I wasn't going too far anyway. The finance was good, but the faith was not. We've already talked about that. The family, we already talked about that, was not where I wanted to be. And then the
You
finance,
were
of
you
course,
were you were there, but you were not present.
Right. And then the finance, God, of course, they're paying good money, but money is not everything in life.
It's
Money
not.
can
It's
solve a
not.
lot of
It's
problems,
not.
but it's not everything. And now the fourth one was my fitness, and I kind of just talked about that. Um, I wasn't even going to the gym or doing any type of exercise. And then, sometimes let me kind of go into a little bit of biology, because I have a degree in biology and chemistry, by the way. So
Yeah,
when when
that's your first degree, right?
it's yes. So when stress is high, cortisol is high, and when it's high, it begins to affect other areas of your, will I say health, body health, and
Mhm.
then you of course some people gain weight, some people their cholesterol, their A1C that it just runs down, blood pressure just go all the way down. A lot of things begin to go south quickly, and people don't notice that because all that just boils from one thing: the stress. And like I told you, I was not getting enough sleep during that time. So
Mm.
I'm like, God, like, man, what's going on? So all of those things. So my fitness, one thing I love to do is, I don't mind. I love going to the gym. I'm not a gym rat, by the way, but I will go work out. But I wasn't able to do that during that time.
Wow.
Because of the tiredness and everything, I wasn't able to go to the gym. So now that's affecting,
Mhm.
the fourth thing that I talked about, which is fitness. And then fun, and no fun
No
happening.
fun. No fun.
Not at all. So yeah, so that kind of defined that led me into now going, okay, my primary objective, and I talk about this a lot, is what is my goal in life? What is my purpose in life? And it boils into impact, right?
Impact
That's my purpose in life, but through helping people. So I came into nursing because I wanted to help.
to help.
Yes, that was the key thing. I love helping and I wanted to bring value in that area. So now when I got into the financial industry, because at that point I was looking at what industry can I be able to also do the same thing. And then
Yeah.
I was able to segue into the financial industry. And the financial industry, I was able to do the same thing. But now I get to help people with their finances. So how I coined that is this: I went from healthcare to
Okay.
wealthcare.
To work it.
So there was a transition there for me. Now I was able to, God, everything, like literally my faith, family, finance, fitness, fun, everything transformed overnight.
Wow.
you
Wow.
know Now I was able to spend more time with my kids, travel with my kids, get to do a lot of stuff with them. I spend time with my family a lot. I get to work from home virtually, but I get to work from anywhere in the world. Now I can have some fun. I get to travel. I mean, we just met in California recently. I was at a conference out there. We had so much fun over there. And not
Yeah.
only that, my
You went with your
fitness.
family too.
Yeah. And my fitness too. The interesting part is that I get to go to the gym 3 to 4 times a week now. It don't matter if I'm
Wow.
traveling, if I'm local. My health is improved drastically. I'm able to rest. My faith is better because, of course, now I don't go to church and sleep half of the time.
You actually going to listen
Yeah.
to the word.
So yeah, all of those things has drastically changed. So now in the financial industry, I get to help people.
That's good. So
Helping
so as
people.
an
Yeah.
immigrant and a family man, what challenges um do you face or did you face in your business?
Well, I won't say so much of a challenge, but
Hmm.
all businesses go through a phase.
That's
So
right.
before I'll sit here and tell you, oh yeah, you just started a business today, you're going to be a millionaire. It doesn't happen that way.
Doesn't
Statistically, businesses are profitable 3 to 5 years.
3 to 5 years. Okay.
3 to 5 years to have a profitable business. So
Yes.
I think I came prepared in my mind, and that's why I'm
Hmm.
not calling these things challenges,
Yes.
because some people will look at it as
It's growth.
challenges, but I already have information that this is how long it's going to take for business. Even though my business got profitable like within a year,
Hmm.
really fast, because let me put it like this: a lot of things that people don't know is that nursing is a multi-talented field.
It
It
prepares
preps
you
you
for everything.
everything. There you go. So when I came in, I already came with skills like, understanding how teamwork, understanding leadership, how to collaborate with other people, how to work with people, people's skills. People think these things are
People
they're, they're
skills. Yeah.
simple. You think you're simple, but you're gonna be around a lot of people that don't have none of that.
Hmm.
So I already came with a lot of those things because in the ICU, man, to save a life, we have to work as a team.
As a team.
Literally, I'm jumping into another person's room, doing probably 90% of the work while they're standing there because we're trying to save a life. This is not about it's your patient, it's my patient, it's our
Mm-mm.
patient.
Our patient.
You
What
know,
can we
so
do to save that
what can we
patient's
do to
life?
save? And then we see the way we're running. Sometimes we run for 5, 6 hours nonstop because somebody's calling.
Non-stop.
We're trying to resuscitate. We're getting some medication in. Everything we do everything we can to save a life. So all of those skills kind of I call them transferable skills.
That's right.
So when I came into the financial industry, I brought a lot of those skills here, and it really helped. So those are things I could have called challenges, but actually it became like a stepping stone to be able to,
Yes.
grow and move fast in the business and be able to build my business to where we are. Of course, one of the biggest thing that anybody will face in that type of business is people. That's a factor you can control. The factors that I can control, I don't call challenges. Factors you can control, it's across the board. So, but it's
Mhm.
all the same. Um, I think we've grown through all that process, and it's amazing.
Wow. So why is empowering people of faith, immigrants, and healthcare workers so important to you? I heard you say I went from healthcare to welfare.
Mhm.
You're still
Oh yeah,
empowering people.
definitely.
So why is empowering people of faith, immigrant, and healthcare workers so important to you?
It is because I mean, from my story, you can already tell those are kind of my three
Yes,
anchors.
yes,
That
yes,
doesn't mean
yes.
I don't empower other people. I help everybody, all
Everybody.
day long. But it's just that, just to look at it like this, it's a natural flow for me. You
That's
know,
right.
I'm a person of faith. And then another thing that, and I'll speak on that and them individually because of this reason. When it comes to the faith community, our interaction with money, or when it comes to building generational wealth, is interesting. There's an interesting dichotomy to that. There are there are few people that understand the biblical foundation and how to be able to do that, and there are
Hmm.
other people that actually have the wrong conception of it.
Hmm.
When you bring up like all of those things, they want to kick against it. They want to say we don't want nothing to do with this because that's your pathway to hell. When you talk about money. But now let's talk about this. When you talk about finances and the faith community, one of the things I
Hmm.
want to say is you have to think about empowering your family,
Empowering.
protecting your family, right? Those are the things that family values is one of the things that we talk about a lot. And then making sure that your family is taken care of when you're not here. And it doesn't matter if you're the husband or the wife or you're the child, everybody is involved in this situation. So making sure that you understand enough about the financial industry to be able to set different plans in place to make sure that everybody is taken care of.
Hmm.
And now let me put this, people of faith will say, well, God is going to take care of me. I understand that. Nobody is against that. I say the same thing too.
Hmm.
But God has provided ways for you to be taken care of. He's empowered you with knowledge. He set platform and precedents in that you can be able to take advantage of.
That's right.
Let me talk about one of the things, living benefit.
Yes.
There's a policy out there that can be able to cover you and your family and provide what we call the living benefit, which is critical, chronic, and terminal illness,
Yes.
right? What does that mean? It means that if anything is to happen to you, you have something to fall back on in these categories. There's policies out there that allow you to have what we call income protection. Let me put it like this. A lot of these things happening out there are things that you can't control when it comes to your income. We just
It's
had a
a
lot of
matter of when.
yeah, we just had a lot of people laid off
Hmm.
from different government jobs. It's not that has nothing to do with you. You're a good worker, you're faithful, you go to work, you show up. But on the other end, somebody else is like, oh, let's do this, let's do that, let's cut people down, and that affects you. Now, understanding that you have different things in place that you can begin to build wealth for your family, putting stuff in place like emergency fund,
Hmm.
and then setting all those things up that way that kind of take care of your family if there's a situation that comes up. So people of faith, I engage them because I know that sometimes, we need to understand these things. As simple as they sound today, but those are things that's the difference between you being here and you being here in an
That's right.
emergency situation. Now, immigrants, we all came to this country seeking a greener pasture, right? Um,
Mm-hmm.
and when you came in, they talked about the American dream. And it's interesting because nobody actually hands you a book that has the American dream, everything written down step to step, how you hit the
You have
dream.
to go find it.
Dr. Chichi, I don't know, did you get that book when you came?
I did not. Still on treasure hunt.
I'm just saying because nobody gives you that. But guess what? Through education that we provide, now
Yes.
you can understand how to hit the American dream, how to regain your time freedom, unlimited earning potential, which means you can earn as much as you can and then not be burned out or stressed out all the time. Because I know people, I'm not kidding, that have been here 30 years and they can't rub two quarters together.
Mm.
And it's sad because I asked the question, you have made a lot of money over time. What happened? You know why? Because they don't understand the simple concept of how money works. They don't even understand the concept of taxes. Because in
Mm.
taxes, it's not how much you make, it's how much you get to keep. Legally. There's nothing I'm talking about here. Everything is legal. So they don't understand simple concept like that. So guess what? You
Mm.
break your back year after year after year after year and have nothing to show for it.
Repeating the same thing over and over
Over,
again
over and over again.
with the rat race.
Yeah. So healthcare
Wow.
workers, these are my one of my favorite ones because we are very underappreciated
Yes.
and we work a lot. The workload is increasing every day. And that's why the stress is kind of synonymous, you know. That's why
Mm-hmm.
the stress is increased because the workload and the things that they want you to do is just increasing every day. Okay, now this is the thing with healthcare workers. You have probably heard this. A nurse or a healthcare worker will tell you, I'm about to buy a couch. I just need to work 2 more shifts.
Two more shift. Oh, this extra shift
Oh,
is for the project I have at home.
there you go. You've heard that, right?
I've heard
Why?
that so many
Why?
times.
Because we understand that there's job security as good as those things are. Let me tell you this.
Mm.
That's how we understand finance. If I need this, I need to work more. If I need that, I need to work more. If I need that
And,
person, I need to
and
work
and
more.
the more the tax bracket
There
expands, you
you
know
go.
that? Because you're
There
not
you
gonna
go.
just work and make extra money and not pay more in taxes.
Of course you
You're gonna
do.
you're gonna pay it somehow.
Somehow.
Yeah.
Okay, so now why am I saying that? I'm saying this because we work really hard, underappreciated, but this is the one group of people that have not taken time to get educated about their finances.
I know.
We're
Like
very
some people,
smart,
you talk to them about finance, they're like, "What?"
right? We're very smart because we figure a lot of things out. We work with all kinds of interdisciplinary teams to provide care for the patient. But when it comes to finances, the
We don't
knowledge
know.
is very, very scarce. So that's why I have a passion to be able to teach people in the financial industry, in the medical industry about finances. Very, very important. Because when I sat there, this is what I realized. And I'll tell you a story. And I don't want to mention the name, but there's a few people that I work with.
Yes.
A few of them got to the point of retirement and had nothing to retire on.
Ooh.
And then guess what was happening during retirement? One of them needed a
Have to go
knee.
back to work, of course.
Yeah, yeah. But before they even went back to work, one of them needed a knee replacement or knee surgery.
Oh, no insurance.
No insurance, no money, and now broke. We have to gather money to just support. I mean, how much can we give? That's the truth. We can gather money, but it might be able to pay a couple of months of bills. And this, I'm speaking of nurses now. The other one have back issues towards retirement. When she finally looked at what she had, they have enough money to retire on. But what I'm saying is that these are veteran nurses that have worked 30 years plus. A couple of them now cannot go back to work. They don't have the strength. They've given a lot of their body into the bedside nursing that they can't even stand straight to perform another care, but they don't have any money in the bank to say, you know what, I've done this nursing well, which they have, and tip the hat off for them. But at the same time, I don't have nothing in the bank or nothing in any retirement account to retire comfortably and live a peaceful life. So when I started, and that's one of the things I studied. When I started nursing, I looked at myself because this is what you do. When you show up, people that have been there for 30 years, I'm asking myself the question, is this my future? Is this a future that I want? And I quickly realized that it's not. Because there was nothing to really say, you know what, I'm excited for that future. Because 30 years from now,
Mm.
is that what I'm going to look like, be like, and not have any money to spend time with my family, travel, and just enjoy vacation and retirement? I was like, no.
Wow,
So
wow.
somewhere in the back of my mind, I already started making preparation that I'm not going to go that route. But how many nurses do that? Because
No.
sometimes,
Creating that awareness,
yeah.
Fidelis, I must tell you, one of the reasons why I started this podcast is what you're saying now. We do so much as healthcare professionals or as nurses. We do so much, put
Mm,
so much time into taking care of other people, and we don't ever take care of ourselves. And
mm,
most nurses will go through different episodes of burnout and still
mm,
go back to the same environment that is causing their burnout just
mm,
because of no financial information, no financial education.
mm.
So what we're doing now is part of the reason why this podcast was started. So we can talk about this and help nurses create this awareness. So this kind of condition will not keep on repeating itself. So on this note, can I ask you what advice do you have for someone seeking financial clarity or a new beginning?
Sit down with a professional. I mean, and this is what I'm gonna tell you. So a lot of us like, and I put it like this: when you're not feeling too good, what do?
Go to the doctor.
Go to the doctor. You literally go to the doctor because you want to figure out what's going on. And this
But
is why I say go.
most
Mhm.
times they would rather go to work than go take care of themselves or go to the doctor. Because number one, if they go to the doctor and they miss work, guess what's gonna happen? There won't be money to pay bills,
I know, yeah. And that because they're living paycheck to paycheck.
paycheck
You
to
living
paycheck.
paycheck to paycheck is already an indication that you need to seek for help. Because because I tell people this, and let's get real with this. A lot of Americans, and today about 68 to 70% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. And I tell people you're one paycheck away from being homeless. Because if that paycheck don't show up and the second one don't show up, guess what? You are
You're
going to be
gone.
homeless. And if you don't have any family members, you don't have anybody to help you, which a lot of people don't because there's so much, division and fighting going on with family. So they don't even have nobody to turn to. Friends. And the crazy part is that a lot of people attract friends like them, friends that don't have money like them. So guess what? That is your reality right now. And if you
Yeah.
have that reality, it's not time to fold your hands together and put a smile on your face. It's time to seek help.
Make a change. Take
Make a
charge.
change. Take charge of your finances because it's important. At the end of the day, you are in the driver's seat of what happens. And now, if this knowledge is coming to you at this point, and you know you are the one, definitely you need to be talking to a professional. And we've been in nursing space. We've done all of that, and now we're out of that space. And then we understand what's happening out here with the financial industry. And that's why I was passionate about helping nurses because I understand both sides. I know what works for you on that side and you on this side. That is what one of the things that really inspired me to like, you know what?
Mhm.
I need to talk to healthcare workers more because they don't
Mhm.
have these conversations and they don't even know how bad the situation is. So if you're not feeling too well or something's happening to you, you go to the doctor. Why? Because the doctor is going to sit down. What is he going to do? He's going to do what we call an assessment on you. He's going to look at
Mhm.
everything going on. They're going to draw a lab. They're going to, do your blood pressure, height and weight, all of that stuff. And then doctor comes back and say, hey, this is what's going on, or you have a clean bill of health, and then this is the next steps. The same thing in the financial industry. Sit down with a professional that understands what's going on, and we're going to do a financial analysis. In that analysis, it's a holistic analysis because it looks at everything. It's not just like do this or do that and that's it, bye. No, it looks at everything in a holistic way. And then being able to now help you understand that you can leverage every part of the financial industry to your advantage. And there are several different parts of the financial industry. There's banking. Do you even understand how to use the bank and the purpose of using the bank? Some people don't. They put everything in the bank. And that's how I was when I first showed up. But I've learned that there's a purpose and a place for the bank. The securities, which is your retirement, right? It's a variable account. So all
Yes.
kinds of retirement account is in there. It's up and down. It's very highly volatile. Knowing how to be able to use that. The third one, the index account. What is the purpose of it? Have you even heard about an index strategy? These are the reasons why you need to sit down with us, and then we can help you navigate this,
Right.
situation and get you to the right place.
So Mr. Fidelis, so what does taking charge mean to you right now? Like when you talked about your burnout and you've also kind of exposed to nurses what it's all about for you. At some point you took charge. So what does taking charge mean to you?
And that's a great question, Dr. Chichi. And when we talk
Mhm,
about taking charge, for me, and I've mentioned that earlier. I group them into five categories.
mhm.
So, and it's scalable, by the way. So I group them into like my faith, family, finance, fitness, and fun. So when I look at that, taking charge means ranking high in those categories. So if we were to scale it from a scale of 1 to 10 in your
Mhm.
faith, where's your faith from a scale of 1 to 10? How are you taking
Yes.
charge in your faith? If you are
Yeah.
2, no problem. Just realize that you are 2, but make efforts to get to 8, 9, 10. It's a gradual move towards getting to the high part of it. And then family, the same way, scale of 1 to 10. Finance, the same way, scale of 1 to 10. Fitness and fun, scale of 1 to 10. So taking
Mhm.
charge to me, that's how I kind of look at it in those five categories. So when I look at
Wow.
those five categories now, I'm trying to scale high in every single one of them. And that's taking charge of my life because it's kind of a holistic way for me to be able to look at that.
You broke it down, man. You did an awesome job breaking it down. So,
Yeah.
Fidelis, we're going to go to the rapid fire questions. You ready?
All right, let's do it.
All right. One word to describe you:
Resilient.
resilience. Your favorite scripture or quote?
Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ who
Through
strengthens me.
Christ. Oh my goodness. I like that. I like that. So, one thing people don't know about you.
I'm actually a soccer player, and we won the Nashville Soccer League probably 7, 8 years ago when I used to work as a chemist. Yeah.
Wow. You
Yeah.
still do that?
Um, Very sparingly. Every now and then I go out and play with the guys. I had an injury this year, so I've not gone back yet.
Oh,
But
oh,
next year I will join them back again. But yeah, every now, maybe one Saturday, 2 Saturdays out of the month, I'll go play with the guys. Yeah.
good. That's fitness right there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I hope you're feeling better though from the
Oh,
injury.
definitely. No, I'm fully recovered,
That's
yes.
good.
Thank
That's
you.
good. So, your biggest lesson from burnout?
Man, the biggest lesson I got from burnout is don't get there.
Don't get there. Don't get there. I like that.
Do not
That's
get
why we're
there.
doing this, creating awareness so
Mhm,
people will catch
mhm,
themselves. Like I said, the burnout is so subtle. So
mhm,
it's good that we create this awareness so people can catch themselves and make that decision. I've gone through
mhm,
different um, episodes of burnout myself,
mhm,
and
mhm.
it's important to know how to take charge.
Definitely.
So, one advice you will give your younger self.
Follow right principles and you get right results.
Yeah,
Right
follow right
principles
principles.
lead to right results.
Oh my goodness, that's deep. That's deep.
Yeah.
So you are a financial professional.
Mhm,
You talked about this. Some nurses might watch this, or healthcare professionals might watch this.
mhm.
How can you be reached?
Oh, yes,
If they want to
definitely.
ask questions, right?
Yeah, definitely. I'm on Facebook. It's this name you see here, Fidelis Obuzor, Fidelis
Mhm.
Obuzor. You can reach me out on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, same name, everywhere. And of course, my number is my business number is 615-719-4701. Again, six one
Mm.
five 719-4701. Feel free to reach out. One of the things that nurses or healthcare workers are scared to do is reaching out. But I'm one of you. So, hey, let's just have a chat and we'll go
Yeah.
from
Yep. Call him and tell him Dr. Chichi sent you.
there.
Okay?
Definitely.
So the thing I want to say right now is that if this conversation blessed you, just subscribe, like, and share this episode. And you never know who needs this message today. Just share this message with someone. So, Fidelis, I want to thank you so much for sharing your heart, your courage, and your journey. Your story will inspire so many people that have listened to it today. And it's going to rebuild, help someone rebuild their lives from burnout or uncertainty. And you have just reminded us all that taking charge is a bold decision and anyone can choose it. So, to everyone watching today, I want to thank you for being here. And remember, take charge of your life, your peace, and your purpose. Until next time, stay strong and stay lifted. Bye-bye.
Take Charge with Dr. Chichi is a brand of Sparkling Star Development Strategies LLC. The information provided is for educational purposes only and does not constitute financial, legal, or medical advice. Financial services are offered independently by Dr. Chichi in accordance with applicable licensing and regulatory standards. Thank you for watching.